Happy Monday, y'all. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Yeah. Happy Monday, y'all. Change. Oh, boy. How many people will agree that this decade called 2020, 2020 has not been a year. 2020 has been a decade. "2020 has been a decade." More stuff that happened in 2020 that happened since 2010, all at one time. But it is many times out of this chaos that creativity is birthed. Out of chaos, creativity is birthed. The whole story of creation says that it was chaotic, and then he spoke and caused it to change. Crisis creates opportunities for change. Crisis creates opportunity for change. The world has changed because of crisis. Crisis creates opportunities for change. Many things in these last almost 200 days since we've been quarantined and separated and can't gather and can't go to church and can't go to the game and all of these things, this crisis also has caused a lot of change in your life. What do I mean by that? I mean that many of you have done things in these 190 days that you may have been putting off for years. How many closets have been reorganized? How many things have been repaired? The crisis of COVID has caused change. And more specifically, the crisis has caused innovation. Innovation. It is crisis that causes innovation. Now, there's got to be a method in order to make that happen. There's got to be a system in order to make that happen, because God is a God of systems. And I found it. It is in Proverbs chapter number 8, verse number 12. Please listen. Listen to the system. Listen to the way God manifests innovation. It says, I wisdom. Terry, see if we can find this. I wisdom, Proverbs 8 and 12, King James Version. I wisdom dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. Say it again. I wisdom dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty invention. Now, wisdom is first the principal thing, because the number one thing that we need in times of crisis is wisdom. We need wisdom because when so much information is coming at us at one time, the only way it can be properly processed is through wisdom. And if we're going to get wisdom, then wisdom, we must ask God. God, I want wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to apply knowledge. He said, I wisdom, I live. He said, I live with prudence. I live with sound judgment. I live with common sense. Wisdom lives with common sense. Common sense has very little to do with your education, because we know a lot of people that are educated, but they are educated fools. Common sense. Wisdom says, okay, this now is common sense. Look at this. And then he says, I find out knowledge. Okay, now I've got some wisdom. Now it's time for me to find out some knowledge. Okay, I've got wisdom from God. Okay, and I live with common sense. Now it's time for me to learn something, to study, to research, to put some work in, because it's not just going to fall out of the sky. This is the part where we lose people. This is the part where we lose people, because too many people don't want to put the work in. And I want to apologize on behalf of every preacher, of which I am one, that for far too long we made you feel like you didn't have to put the work in. God's just going to do it. He's just going to show me favor and it's going to fall out of the sky. You got to put your, he said, I went and found knowledge. I looked for it. I searched for it. I went back to school. In this season, you should be considering taking a class, going back to school, some systematic study. I'll teach you this week, like finding a mentor that you can study. I found out knowledge. I put my work in. And yes, I messed up along the way. The first one wasn't right, and I messed up this candle, and I started the candle business, and the first one wasn't right. And I get little by little, I get better. And we do promise to support you as you are getting started. I want to let you know that. We promise to support you. Because if you start a t-shirt company and your t-shirts may be $3 or $4 higher, and you can go get the same t-shirt from Walmart for a little bit less money, we'd rather buy it from you because Walmart can buy the whole truck. Find out some knowledge though. Keep getting better. Learn of witty inventions. Witty, clever, like inventions. Things that some people, when you tell them what you are doing, they might laugh at you. When you tell them your idea, they may sniggle at you. Mm-hmm. When you tell them what is going on in your what you're seeing and sensing in your heart and in your spirit, it's a witty invention. Really? Yeah. And it's going to be birthed out of crisis. Let me give you this. One of the major ways for change is to look at your own story and look at a problem you solve for yourself. Look at a problem you solved for yourself. Maybe even at the worst time of your life. Maybe even at the worst time of your life, and you survived it. And you came out with something. It's a witty invention. But it's going to take wisdom from God. God's going to do his part. If you ask for wisdom, he'll give it to you freely. But then secondly, you got a common sense now. Live with making sure it lives. It ain't going to make sense. One of my mentors, the late, great Bishop Robert Charles Blake Sr., said, faith does not make sense, but it does make miracles. It's going to take some faith to do it. But while I'm working on my faith, I'm going to find out some knowledge. And God's going to give me an idea that is going to it might make you laugh. Oh, God goes to a woman by the name of Sarah and says, you are so old, but you are going to have a baby. Your husband is your husband. There's no Viagra. There's no Cialis. The husband is 90 years old, 99 years old. Okay. The wife is 90. Okay. He's dead. She's dry. They come together. They say, you have a baby. She laughed. God said, you can have a baby. She laughed. God gave her an idea. She laughed. And I came to tell you, from the words of my friend Bishop Noel Jones, God's getting ready to give you something that is going to make you laugh. Change. A wonderful change. It first come over you. Yeah. I'll always have, because I'll always give. This Monday is the first day of the week. 21st. Let's give. I'll always have. Because I'll always give. Thank you, Didi. Yeah. And it's going to be birthed out of crisis. $28 seed is the blessing seed. Blessing seed. $8 seed is the seed of new beginning. You get in where you fit in. I see all of my people giving. I see you. Yeah. Got to put that work in. If you're going to change that body, you got to put that work in. You change that mind, you got to put that work in. E-love. I'm going to say it like this. I'm like that. If you can just get a half an ounce of aggression, Anthony Davis, if you can get a half an ounce of aggression, nobody in the league can check you. Yeah. Change comes out of crisis. James comes out of crisis. Chris Martinez, I miss you. Yeah. Change comes out of crisis. And let me tell you something. It's been crisis. I will always have, because I will always give. Text to give 504-513-5683. It's been crisis in my life and in many of your lives. But God is birthing something out of crisis. It's like the trauma of a woman having a baby. Trauma. They tell me it goes through her whole body. But she birthed something because of her intimacy, her time in fellowship, her time in communion, birthed something. Same thing's gonna happen for you. Yeah. Bless you, Lisa. My friend, bless you. Blessings to you. Okay, y'all know how we roll on Monday. Monday, we're gonna work out at 11 o'clock together. And then at what? Jesus. I'll see you tomorrow. Here, 6 o'clock. Love y'all. Love, live, and inspire you. Jesus, number 7:30. I'm gonna go by the Professor and Reagan, y'all. Come with me, WBOK. I'm going over there now, Facebook Live.